Greetings, Benjamin J. from Ben's Trains with another in the series. Well, what you're looking at, of course, is a Marx pre-war 391. This was, of course, was the precursor to the Canadian Pacific. It's virtually the same. It's got different handrails and some additions to the side, different stack. But the overall layout is virtually identical to Canadian Pacific. In any case, some time ago, I did a video on a really, really rusted Canadian Pacific shell. The thing was covered in rust, and I de-rusted it. When I got the rust off, it was covered in pitting, so there was no easy way to save it. So in any case, I sprayed it with textured black paint, and as you see, it is very, very reminiscent of the Marx 391. Now, this was a junk Canadian Pacific, absolutely covered in rust. And when I got the rust off, it was covered in pitting. There was no way to save this. I mean, no practical way in any case. And that's why I'm always talking about this textured paint. On steel shells, you can repaint these things and make them look like new in a matter of a couple of minutes. In this case, I just pulled the handrails off, nothing else, and just sprayed the entire thing black. So it's quite reminiscent of a 391, as you see. And the 391 came black. This has not been repainted. And it's a great expedient, because without that paint, you would have to coat this thing probably 10 coats in primer, and you would very likely still see the pitting. The pitting was just, it was really bad on this. There was no practical way to save it. But when you use this textured paint, it is actually quite textured, and it doesn't reflect. And so if it doesn't reflect, you won't see any of the flaws that are actually in the surface. It makes a great expedient to bring these old locomotives back to life. As you see, this doesn't look bad at all. Without this black paint, it looked like a wreck. No one would want it. It sat on the shelf for months after I de-rusted it. There was really nothing I could do with it. So I just pulled off the handrails. This is 2 coats of textured black paint. And as you see, it is not unlike a Marx 391. It gives you a decent locomotive. It runs nice. It looks nice. It's got a old bypass motor in it. But as you see, it looks good. It runs perfectly. Resurrected from the dead. Anyway, as I always stress, don't overlook the junk. And just because something's junk when you get it, doesn't mean it's going to be junk when you're finished with it. In this case, you have a really decent looking locomotive that is very, very reminiscent of the original Marx 391. So I just wanted to do a quick video on this. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.